In today's video, I'm going to give you my first impressions of the Storyteller Overland Beast Mode. What is going on, YouTube? Greetings from Mexican Hat, Utah. I'm out here on BLM land. It's a really pretty spot. If you go to Campendium and you search Mexican Hat, you'll find this spot. You can stay here 14 days. It's something I preach about van life all the time. When you start, go out and find BLM land, find National Forest land, and camp for free. You'll never go back to a campground once you've camped in a beautiful spot like this and not had to pay a dime to enjoy it. So I picked up the Storyteller 3 days ago. I was pretty surprised when I got there and they're like, here's a beast mode. I thought I was getting a regular mode, so I was really super stoked about getting a beast mode. After I picked it up in Utah, I drove 3 straight days. My first night I stayed in a Walmart, and the second 2 nights I stayed in rest areas. So I didn't record the pickup or any of that travel stuff because I figured it's pretty boring. I'm just staying in Walmart parking lots. Figured we'd jump right into the action. Let me preface this video by saying these are my first impressions. I'm going to do a van tour and more of a review of the Storyteller after I've lived in it for a while. But I'm going to tell you what I think about it after the first 72 hours and spending all my time in it driving. So let's go. The sun just came up, so hopefully it doesn't affect this too much. But this is a Storyteller Beast Mode. So for those that don't know, Storyteller has 3 rigs they sell. They sell the Mode, which is the basic 4x4. They sell a Stealth, which is a different color. It's like a darker color. And then they sell the Beast Mode, which is the ultimate Storyteller and pretty awesome. So as you can see, it's got a lot of things that adventure vans have. Obviously, it's been lifted. It's got bigger tires. It's got a ladder up to the top of the roof, which is pretty awesome. Unlike my van, the Travado, the roof has a rooftop deck. So you can actually stand up on it. You can jump and down on it if you want. That's what Storyteller says. So I'm going to get up there and do that. Again, this is the Beast Mode, so it comes with all the bells and whistles. You'll see it's got KC lights. It's got KC lights all around the van, which is pretty awesome. You got the front brush guard as well. I'm sure you can add a winch to that. So another thing that's on board this van is a air system. So you can deflate your tires and then reinflate them when you're off the trail. All right, so first impressions, what do I love about this van? There's a couple things that I noticed right away that were different from my van. So the first one is how stable everything is. I mean, you can literally hang off this thing and be okay. This stuff is really solid and on here really good. That brings me to my second point. Inside each one of these cabinets, everything is padded. So there's absolutely no noise created by the things that you have inside your cabinets. That wasn't the case in my Travado. Everything would be rattling around. Like this little area I'm using for all my electronics, like something like this would have made all kinds of noise on the road in my Travado. But here, I didn't notice any road noise from things in cabinets whatsoever. All right, so the next thing I love, I've got half the bed up right now, but what I really love about it is the mattress is very comfortable. I like firm mattresses and it's really firm. I would not put a mattress topper on top of this thing. It's pretty awesome. Another thing that I really love that I noticed right away was that all the windows open in some form or fashion, which is really cool. And when you hit this fan, it just sucks the air through your bed area up to the fan. So if it's a warm day, you can stay nice and cool in the bed. I had the same thing in my Travado. I'm not sure why, but for some reason, the ventilation across the bed is just much better in here. I don't know if it's because the beds were lower in the Travado, but I really like the ventilation that you can create inside the van. The next thing I really like about this setup is where the refrigerator is. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get down here. So when you're outside, what's really cool about this refrigerator is you can open it up and you have access to it outside. There's actually a table right here that folds down so you can have your table out. You can be sitting out there and you can reach around here and grab something to drink. I think that's just a really cool, smart feature of this van. and it's pretty awesome. So another thing I love about this thing, first impression wise, is there is no propane. So I don't have to worry about filling up propane. When I go to heat the rig, it uses diesel fuel. I don't know if you can see this over here. Let me bring my face around. It's like tracking my face. That's why it's moving. There's a little turn on switch here that starts siphoning fuel out of the diesel tank to heat water or to heat the rig. I've already used it. It worked pretty well. So there's no propane here, which I love. And I don't have to worry about filling up propane, which was a huge thorn in my side once it started getting cold. Another cool thing about this rig from first impressions that I really like, that are different from my Travato, are the lights. They're like touch buttons. So I just touch this button and they come on and off. And if I hold the button down, it'll dim and brighten the lights, which I also think is super, super cool. So you can dim them down really low at night. All right, now let me talk about some of the things that I think might be a challenge. Like I said before, this is a first impression. My ideas might change later, but this is my first impressions of things that I think might make it a little bit difficult living in this van, especially full time. So the first one that I noticed right away, and I've heard this before, that when you go from a ProMaster to a Mercedes, what you'll notice right away is that the ProMaster is much wider, or at least feels much wider because it's more boxy. So the one thing I've really noticed, if you come down here, you'll see that this groove lounge and the little sink area is really, really close together. And if you come even further down here, you'll see there's these little things that allow you to move the groove lounge up and down. And every time I walk through here, I whack the side of my leg on those little latches that go up and down. Maybe, I'm sure in the future, it'll become habit where I move sideways like this, but you definitely can't walk. I can't walk through this area. My hips are too big to walk through this area normally. So you gotta do the van life shuffle. If I was designing this van and Storyteller said, hey Kevin, we wanna make this van for you, keep everything that's cool, but make little tweaks that'll fit your lifestyle better, I would ask them to make this countertop area about 1.5 inches shorter, and maybe make this bench 2 or 3 inches thinner, and then you'd be able to just walk through it and I wouldn't have to do the whole van life shuffle thing. Okay, so the next thing that I think probably won't be an issue for me, but could be an issue for other people, is that these cabinets are not as big as cabinets inside of a ProMaster. And the reason for that is the Mercedes kind of goes like this, where the ProMaster is just a straight box. So your cabinets have to conform to that shape. So they're much less deep than the ones in my Travato. And because they also put that padding in there, which is a positive, to make it silent, you lose even more space in there. I love the shower design in this van, which we'll talk more about later when we do a full tour video, but it takes up a huge cabinet area. So not only are the cabinets smaller because of the dimensions of the Mercedes and the padding that's put in there, but you also lose your biggest cabinet area for the shower. Even though I'm a minimalist and I didn't bring that much stuff with me, I'm still trying to figure out how to store my stuff in this van where it's not laying all over the place. Okay, so the last thing based on my initial impression that I don't like is probably going to surprise a lot of you. I don't like the cassette toilet. So I've always been a huge proponent of cassette toilets on this channel, but I think what I'm a proponent of is cassette toilets that are built into the rig. So all you have to do is go to the outside of the rig, open up a little panel, and pull out the cassette and go and empty it somewhere. That's not the case with this cassette toilet. You kind of have to move it around and pull this up and do a lot of things, but to be honest with you, it's just a big pee bottle. And so you might as well just pee in a bottle. It's much easier to dispose of. And, you know, you get a Sunkist Sunny D bottle as a guy, and you can pee in that thing really easily and then just dump it out somewhere. So I think this is not as cool as I thought it was going to be. But we'll see as I go on. Maybe I'll adapt and I'll figure out how to use this better. Okay, so those were my first impressions, both the positive and the negative. You know, one of the positives I forgot to mention was how comfortable this rig is. Mercedes and Storyteller did such a good job on the seats. Everything in this van is super comfortable. This seat is just amazingly comfortable, even though it's kind of in an awkward sitting position now because I haven't like leaned it back. The front seats are very comfortable. I mentioned that the bed is very comfortable. Anywhere that you sit and relax, like a lot of times I will just sit here and kind of put my feet up, and this is super relaxing because the walls are all padded with the Hevlock wool. So it's just super comfortable to sit here and relax. But yeah, I wanted to give you my first impressions of the van. Like I mentioned, we're going to do a full tour as I live in this thing longer and learn more about what I like and dislike. I'll obviously update that. In the next few days, we're going to be traveling to Valley of the Gods. That should be amazing. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you haven't already, so you get notified when I put out new videos. I'll probably be putting out more frequent videos. I'll be doing some live streams from really cool locations. I think this is going to be a super fun adventure. So thanks for watching and see you next week.